Greetings everybody. I think today is either the 8th or the 9th. I can't tell, but it's gotten above 50 degrees. I'd say it's probably where I'm at. It's probably somehow got up to closer to 60. Even though the temperature set on my phone says it's like 53, 54. But this is just some honey that the bees have been working on from a dead out. There's a bunch of honey and stuff, so I've been letting the bees rob this out so they can keep good stores in the hives. But something I noticed here with these bees here, what they've done is they actually started down here, and you can see how they've kind of cut went from the side, and they just kind of chewed their way up all up in here, getting at the honey. And that's something, one way to tell if you have bees robbing out a hive is they just kind of leave things a mess. They just kind of chew it and leave it a mess. But those ones are going good. So out here, I have my lids right there, but try to cover these things up when it starts raining out, but try to leave it open for the bees when it's nice and sunny out. This side of the shed, it gets most of the sun, and so I try to have it a bit staggered, try to make it so that you have the airflow that comes through. And then down here I have some screen at the bottom to keep the mice from getting up underneath there. They could probably figure out a way to climb up, but and all those, I just got all those from a neighbor who was going to do beekeeping, but then he didn't. So it's pretty much just frames and boxes, nothing in there. All this stuff is from my dead outs. So I'm just trying to keep it out here, keep it where the bees can get the honey, what honey they can from it, and then hopefully keep the wax moths out of there. Have enough sunlight going in to keep the wax moths out. But hopefully in March, when things do warm up, I'll brain fart. But anyways, I was going to say, hopefully in March when things warm up, I'll have those on hives already. But this stack here is another stack of drawn comb, and I've been using the paramoth on this stack here. Now that being said, let me take a couple of these out. Something I also was trying is the put a bunch of string in there and see if I can get the bees to build out on their own, which I've been able to do it. I haven't really had them do a full frame yet, but I have a couple good frames beginning. And then you have the nice acorn frames here. These, I tell you what, the wood value of these acorn frames are excellent. I really like the wood value, and then of course the bees seem to do a really good job at building them out. So take these. Toss them in here. And this is an 8-frame. I have one of those 8-frame flow hives, but mainly it's really my own fault that I just have a hard time getting the 8-frame hive built up good for the spring. And I think this year I'm gonna have a weak 8-frame again. It's just, you have to have the hive built up pretty good to use the flow hive. But okay, let's see here. Do I have any other? Okay, so basically, to use the paramoth stuff, you throw get all that dust out there. Put down a piece of cardboard, and this stuff stinks. You just take some of the crystals. Sometimes you have to break them up in there with a hive tube. Oh. Probably could do a little bit more. Let's see, where's my hive tool at? So break them up a little bit. Now the way these things work is they create a gas. Gas is heavier than air. And so as it warms up, they evaporate, and then they just kind of go down the stack. The gas comes down the stack, and it kills the wax moth, eggs and larvae. So, but you do want to try to air out your hive. I mean your boxes before you put them on the hive, because I mean this stuff is an insecticide. But just do that, and then I have a cover. I'm gonna put down the so just like that. So one thing I've noticed is warmer days that this stuff seems to evaporate faster than cooler days. So it's a alright product, but I'd rather not have to use it, figure out how to not have to use it. Now there's another thing on the market called was it like B402, I think it's called, and I guess I was reading the instructions on that stuff, and it looks like you actually spray the frames with a water mixture of that stuff, and it has an enzyme that kills the wax moths, where the wax moth ingest it, and then it just kills them. So I might end up trying that one next year. But like this, so I got a bunch of white acorn plastic frames for the honey supers. So I wanted to get the wooden ones, but they were completely out. So I was like, I'm thinking I might need more frames, so I just went ahead and got those as an emergency anyways. But take this 8 frame, throw it up here. I'm gonna probably fill up one of my pail feeders. So these are 1 gallon, have a bunch of 1 gallon pail feeders. And, oh, here we go. You can see the lid has just kind of a screen on the lid, and you just fill this thing up and then you just plop it over. And problem I have is it seems like when you initially plop it over upside down, it seems like a lot of sugar syrup can come out of it. But after about about 30 seconds, it all gets that suction and it stays in there. But I have a stack of nukes, and I have these things to help with transporting bees. I tell you, when you have bees shut up in some of these things, you have the little things to shut them up in. But if anything gets stuck in there, or if those bees really want out, they can try really hard to. They try really good at getting out. I had some that I didn't shut this tight enough. It didn't shut right, and the bees were actually working their way out in my car. But that's what I'm doing today. Just kind of clean stuff up, and then I have this crap frame. I probably should put it in the my swarm trap. I'm just afraid that the bees would start building on the bottom of this. But you can see right there. Put that up there today. I'm going to put some lemongrass oil in it, because there's no telling if I don't know if there's anybody in my immediate area here that has bees, but I have a hunch that somebody does. If not that, there's back here, there's a bunch of like trees and stuff, and then there's some old barns in there. And I'm sure that a couple of my swarms are hiding out in those barns. That's assuming they're still alive. If they are still alive, they're probably still in there. Probably ended up waiting to swarm. No telling. But anyways, that's what I'm doing today. The bees are buzzing, looking for food where they can get it. And I think tomorrow I'll probably do a short video on how to do the sugar mountain camp method. But I'll have a good one.